Company of Heroes 3 is an RTS strategy game with 4 distinct factions, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. And today, after 2 videos featuring more meta-centric opens, I wanted to highlight a British opening that wasn't the norm. So prepare yourself. The British are coming with plenty of infantry sections, and swarm tactics are guaranteed. To get straight to the build itself, you'll need to build the British Forces Section Command Post. Afterward, you'll need to acquire an infantry section, then another, and so on and so forth, until you have at least 5 infantry sections. Now, this will be a slower opening than most, so slowly advance and gather your strength, especially against aggressive dock players. As for upgrades to your sections, acquire the Recon or AT Boys upgrade, depending on if you're facing Wehrmacht or Dock respectively. The Recon gives your infantry enhanced sight and flares, great at avoiding MGs, while the AT Boys are a great deterrent against early and mid-game armor. I'll touch on this later, but if you have at least 5 sections, have at least 1 with Recon, 3 with AT upgrades, and throw in a Bren when you can. Also, don't forget about those grenade upgrades. Now, after you acquire your 5 sections, go for the British Forces Platoon Command Post. You may hunger for an AT gun, and if you're desperate or later in the game, sure, grab one. But the main focus of this opening is having your infantry be your main anti-tank and anti-infantry force. With that in mind, grab the truck and upgrade it with medics. After the truck, grab a Humber armored car. This little vehicle is a menace to infantry, but your real power here is smoke. By smoking an MG with a Humber, you can place immense pressure on the Axis and possibly wipe said defenses. This is possible with your AT Boys that can destroy enemy equipment, though just a warning, while your Humber does have armor, don't throw it away. Use it more as support for your infantry instead of a blitzing frontline vehicle. And now you can start to see the power of this build. Your infantry will either be an unmovable wall when defending, or a sheer menace on the offense. As for late game, when you get the British Forces Company Command Post, go for whatever suits your game. If you're facing the M16 Italian tank spam, go for the Crusader 2 medium tanks en masse. If you're facing more infantry-focused threats, grab a Matilda 2 heavy tank. If you want the best tank, grab the M3 Grant. Finally, if you want to get AA and the biggest gun you can get, the 17-pounder is nothing to dismiss either. Now, for general tips for this infantry section build, well, avoid using the MG or anti-tank gun in the early game, as I said earlier. Your goal here is to have your infantry fill every role or steal the enemy's reserves, which is why at the bare minimum you are going to have 5 infantry sections. If you want to save on manpower, going with the Indian Artillery Battle Group is a solid choice. You can save time and manpower costs by going down the infantry assault tree with volunteer infantry or acquire resources with pillage. My final recommendation is answering the question of when to get the veterancy upgrades as British, and that, based on community feedback, is after your first tank. Not the Humber, your first late game tank like the Grant, the Lee, or the Matilda. It may seem like you want to rush infantry vehicle upgrades, but at a 30 fuel cost, in all honesty, it's better just to focus on getting your truck, your Humber, or your late game tank. Those are an essential part of this build and should take priority. So that is the infantry section opening for the British. Honestly, I was really motivated to try this after losing my MG for the millionth time against a dock rush. Now with this build, I've been stealing enemy equipment and having a blast while I do it. If you all have a faction or battle group you'd like me to focus on for my How to Open series, leave the recommendation with a like below, and I'll take a look. Until next Monday, I'm greyshot151, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, I'll catch y'all later.
Hello everyone, this is greyshot17, and before y'all go, let me give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Joey G240, Milam, Big Cooch, Aphyria, Ace, Pyro Shark, Tony B 95, Epic Pleb. Thank you all for your incredible support and helping me grow my channel and support my channel and everything I do. Thank you, and to the rest of you, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.